Good evening, everyone. This is Roman Polat, lecturer from Mustaqbal University, political science, and lecturer of the history and anthropology. Plus a TOEFL, an IELTS class conductor, and a teacher of English language in Sloan Institute. I have come up with a new topic today, and the topic is related to my field, law faculty and history, the background of the word Afghan. Most of the people in our country, they're confused as to where does the word Afghan come from. And there are many hypotheses. They say that Afghanistan is a very fresh new word. It is the King Ahmad Shah Doli, the Imperator of Asia, the Imperator of Afghanistan, who named this particular political unit as Afghanistan because he was an Afghan, and he called this territory Afghanistan. And some says no. The history of the Afghanistan, of the word Afghanistan or Afghanistan, is pretty long. And some people says no. This was named after the English people in 19th century when they invaded again and again Afghanistan, and they were defeated back. The English people, they called it Afghanistan because in their script it first appears that based on their official work, their applications, their messages, and their diplomatic relations with the Afghanistan in the 19th century, since they were defeated 3 times, they invaded Afghanistan, and we all witnessed in the history that we had big problems with these people. They say that the word Afghanistan is revealed in the applications, the diplomatic documents of the Afghan, Anglo-Afghan diplomatic relations. Let us more discuss this, and let us more investigate the word, and to understand as to where is the origins of the word Afghan. There are many. To have the ball rolling with the first reason, I have noted that grounds to justify the word Afghan, that Afghan is not something new, it is pretty old. I have some grounds to justify my claim that Afghanistan, the word Afghan, is not new. At least it has 4,000 years old background. I have 3 basic grounds and reasons to justify my claim. The first ground to justify my claim that Afghanistan, or the word Afghan, doesn't come from the diplomatic relations or diplomatic documents of Anglo-Afghan relations in the 19th century. I can claim that this dates back to 3,700 or 4,000 years old, or 4,000 years back, since the times of the Afghan family. They have been ruling Bactria. We all consider ourselves, I am Afghan, my students are Afghan, and the most, or the majority of the Afghan people, they are Afghans. They belong to Pashtun tribe or Afghan tribe. We are named in 3 names. We're entitled in 3 names. The Central Asians, or historically we call ourselves Afghans, but within the tribes we call ourselves Pashtuns or Pashtuns, and the Indians call us the Pathans. The first justification, the first ground, the reason that I can justify my claim that Afghanistan, or the word Afghan, is not new, it's not something fresh, it is very ancient and very old, very historical, is the scripts that we have in the old Avesta books, and later on we have in our literature, Pashto literature, and the poems that we have, the sweet Pashto poems. We do have this clue in the history that Afghan, they were a ruling family in ancient Bactria. They have been ruling this area. Afghan, Aspa means horse. Afghan means the family who ride horses. They were ruling family, and they were invading from one place to another. From time to time, they were invading the neighboring countries. They called them Afghan, the horsemen. They were warriors. And we have been great warriors from, if we trace back our history from the Persian Empire, and then we have the Macedonian Empire under King Alexander the Great. We had this Chandragupta Maurya, the Maurya family of India, when they invaded Afghanistan, to put an example of King Ashoka of India. So in all these scripts, we have seen that the word Afghan, it is mentioned that they were the ruling family, ruling Afghanistan, Balkh, Ghor, and these places. And Balochistan, Waziristan, till the borders of Kashmir, Gilgit and Baltistan. Afghan family, they have been ruling Bactria and the Central Asians and the Iranian, the Persians. They call them Afghan, the horsemen. And they have consistently and repeatedly mentioned this name, that they were part of the Persian Empire, ruling Europe and invading Europe and Africa, Egypt. The word Afghan comes from the word Aspagan. Aspagan, later on, this Aspagan transformed into Apagan. Apagan. Later on, when the Arab conquerors, they had some conquests in Afghanistan, and they started establishing an Islamic empire. The Arab literature, the Arabic language, they lack some letters. They lack the P, they call F, and they lack the G, or the Gulf, as we have in Pashto. They call it GH or Ghain. They call it Afghan. So the word Afghan is just a transformed form of Apagan, and Apagan comes from the Aspagan, the ancient ruling family, in the old Bactria, central Afghanistan, Ghor, Bamiyan, till and stretched to Balochistan and the Pashtunistan and Kabul. This moved upon with the second ground that I can justify my claim that Afghan, or the word Afghan, is not a new word, it already existed, is the Behistun script written by Darius or Cyrus of the Persian Empire. Darius carved his name in the stones, and this stone script is situated in the Shiraz Persepolis of Iran, Persia. He has told and carved all of his conquest, about his character and the families and the groups of people who took part in the conquest. One family is mentioned there, and he calls it Aspagan. Aspagan people, they took part in the conquest when the Persians they invaded the Acropolis of Greece. They invaded Egypt, Africa. So across their empire, the extended empire the Persians had before, under the Achaemenid 2,500 years ago, the name Aspagan is mentioned here in the Behistun stone script. Moreover, if we have a look to the Hindu script, the ancient Hindu religious books or Vedas, the Veda books, Yajurved, Atharvaved, Samaved, and Shataryas, and Mahabharata. Repeatedly, we have witnessed the name Apagan comes in there. So based on these grounds, or I can say consequently, based on these three grounds, which are very reputable and credible sources, we can claim that the word Afghan is not fresh. It's an ancient name, and this name existed very long back. And here are the clues and the sources I can guide you, I can recommend you to study it and satisfy yourself. I'm saying this because recently we have had fascists that say that no, Afghan belongs to the Pashtun tribe, and in Afghanistan there are other tribes living as well, such as Mongolians like Hazaras, Uzbeks, and Imaks, who came centuries ago from Mongolia during the invasions of Genghis. and some other tribes. They said, no, Afghanistan name should be changed. This is a new name. No, it's not a new name. Previously, this name existed, and this name, Afghanistan or Afghan, has 4,000 years old history. In addition to that, these fascist groups, they're pro-Iran, or pro-India, or pro-any other country. They want to have an unnecessary involvement in our country. They want to screw us. They are extorters. They are destroyers. They are invaders. We all know that invaders are many types. Invaders in language, they invade your language. They want to extort your language. They invade and extort your history. To put an example, Afghanistan is a nation caught between both sides of the Durand line Pashtuns. The south side of the Durand line, the Pashtuns in there, they're extorted, influenced, they're looted culturally, historically, and economically by the Punjabis and Hinduism, the Hindu culture. In Afghanistan, we are looted and extorted culturally, lingually, and historically, politically, by a process called Iranism. In Afghanistan, we have organizations who work to bring about Iranism in here. We all know Russianization happened in Central Asia. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Lithuania, they were Russianized. In the 19th century, English people, they had great strides. They invaded Africa, they invaded India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Australia. They imposed their language and their culture half the way across the world. Iran woke up later and they want to implement and impose Iranism and personalization here. For those who are pro-personalization, for those who work for the Iranism, for those who support them, and they conduct and they handle this proxy war for their interests. Let me tell you again, the word Afghanistan is not new and fresh, and this is how I can claim that this word is very old. Word Afghan and the name Afghanistan has existed for the last 4,000 years in here. So these new claims and baseless claims will take you nowhere. It is not going to make it to anywhere. And all these claims are baseless. I hope this is going to be a great response, a response of tit for tat for all those who are in Tehran and Isfahan, these places. They say that Afghan is a part of Iran. No, thank you. And for all those agents who live in Afghanistan and they're pro-Iran, they are pro-personalization, Iranism. This is how we should satisfy ourselves. And I will thank you if you satisfy, and please be logical here in these issues. Thank you. Till the next discussion, I'll come up with a new topic, and I hope that I can open the mind to people and content them, satisfy them, that study more, be a little educated. If not, I'm here. I'm trying to satisfy. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comments section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.